So Alice in Wonderland is destroyed by Disney. If you look at The Logic of Sense by Gilles Deleuze, you can get a really good appreciation of Alice in Wonderland. I'm a practicing quantum shaman, and what I look at is the way in which Alice can grow large, can shrink down, can move around, and just amazing what is happening in this presentation by Gilles Deleuze in his analysis of Alice in Wonderland. He's pointing out what's called the pure becoming. In the pure becoming, Alice can grow younger, she can grow older, she can become a copy of herself, she can become unlimited becoming, but then face the limit of that becoming. And isn't this true of our own life? Becoming something, and she wants to problem solve, get past the barriers, and to do it, she has to reimagine her situation, her identity, her infinite identity. So there's all these fragments, what I call anti-narrative fragments, A-N-T-E, anti, means the before and the bets. So she's making bets on the future, but she's also going back in time, going forward in time. In the scene here, I'll give you a scene where there's a number of small doors. She thinks the rabbit has disappeared into these doors. And she moves a curtain and there's a very small door. She remembers seeing a gold key on a glass table. She gets the gold key and it won't fit any of the bigger doors, but it does fit the smaller door. But she still can't get in this small door and she can't open the big doors that she could get in. So she remembers that, oh, there's a bottle that says drink me, and she drinks it and it tastes like pineapple and cherry and turkey and toffee, and that doesn't really help. So she sees all of a sudden a small box, and in the box is cake, and she eats the cake and it's all gone, and she's able to go through the small door, and then she tumbles down the rabbit hole. And that is interesting because eventually she will go so small that she can go through the hole the size of a rat would go through, and smaller the size of an ant will go through, and she's able to morph her body in any way she can. This is very appropriate to an understanding of quantum physics in relation to shamanism. QShamanism.com is where we develop it, and we meet on Thursdays if you want to know. And I'm a storyteller, story researcher, and this is a very convoluted story Alice is in, becoming something not in her past, an affirmation of both directions, up and down and large and small, and she's meeting all these amazing characters who have abilities and actions that she's never seen before. And it's just an amazing event of the ability to reverse to the day before, to make a bet on the future and see if it comes out. This is what a shaman does for their community, is shape shift. And that's what Alice is doing, is shape shifting and becoming all of these ways of being that are important to the act of becoming. When I write about the act of becoming, the future is becoming now, and the past is becoming now, and we're in the present choosing these doors. Like Alice chose the very small door. She could have chosen the bigger door later on. She can get bigger, smaller. She can speak a word and the door would open. And what's interesting about this, and I learned this from a course in matrix energetics, that if we have a rule that says we can't grow smaller, then that's our rule. If we have a rule that says, oh, David, can get bigger, I can get smaller, I can get more emotional, I can get more exciting, I can be the shaman that goes down through the small spaces. So in my own quantum shamanic practice, I recall my grandfather's farm. I recall a rock house, a rock cave, rounded rocks that Grandma and Grandpa Boji picked up and made into a kind of a root cellar, and they would put the old iris flower roots in there and jams and jellies that they had put into preserve. And that to me is a sanctuary place where I can open the door, go in, shut the door, do my magic incantation, and nobody else can come in. And like Alice, I become incredibly small, and then I go down, down, down. What do I find down the rabbit hole? Well, I have to get smaller still and go through the ants' tunnels and just running through, chasing the white rabbit until I get to a water pool, and I jump in the water pool and slide down, and I head down into that mythical world of the Wonderland. And it's amazing that we can do this as adults, not just as children, but we can enter the wonderland of our imagination and creativity and pick the door we want to go through. We're making that choice. We make that choice which door to go through, and we enter our own mythical world of the Wonderland. That is amazing. And White Rabbit is sort of like, and in fact, indeed is, a helping spirit animal for Alice in Wonderland. So Alice follows the White Rabbit, asks the White Rabbit questions. The White Rabbit is all wrapped up in himself, but is giving clues on what Alice can do in her life. And this is all about the exploration Alice has of her own ways of being and becoming. And being is very existential, and becoming is very existential. I like to think of it as the quantum physics, how we can change our shape. We are quantum beings. We are 37.2 trillion living cells in relation to our environment, which is also living cells. And we are energy waves, and those energy waves vibrate. And if we control the vibration level of our own embodied being, we can also relate to vibrations around us. That's why we use the drumming. Some people use ayahuasca. I prefer the drumming, and drumming at a certain rate. I could drum on my chest and get a certain beat going here. You can drum about anything, but a real drum is kind of nice. With mine has an elephant hide. You've seen me drum before. So come drum with us and become something. Become something that's outside the matrix. Remember Neo and Morpheus. Morpheus gives Neo the opportunity to take the blue pill or the red pill. Blue pill, you stay in the matrix. You're in your boring day-to-day life. You think there's something more. You don't know what it is. Take the red pill. You take the red pill, and it doesn't have to be a real red pill. You just take the red pill and you shrink and you go into the rabbit hole, which becomes the rat hole, becomes the ant place, which becomes the spiral water. Each of us has our own path to go into Wonderland. But enter the mythical world of dragons and unicorns, because, this world needs some help. And where do you find the help? Follow the White Rabbit. And the White Rabbit will give you a message, or your dragon spirit, or your unicorn, whatever it is. You can ask it questions. And we do this at qshamanism.com. And we meet on Thursdays. Go to the website. Thanks for listening. Follow the White Rabbit like Neo.